Just to recap, we basically went through yesterday item 1, which is calibrate the first C of the 3C system. Today we're going to go through conserve and we're going to go through charge, right? So because both of you are having the too much money problem, so I'm going to focus more on terms of that, all right? And the fact that because both of you got the R quality as well, that's why I didn't want to go into the nitty-gritty of how to calculate all these things, because I want to focus more on the practical usage of it, So there's going to be more case study along the way. And if you guys participate more, then I will share with you more case study. All right, is that okay? Give me a thumbs up, it's okay. So I want to share with you also why the main reason 90% of the families can't progress or can't spot opportunity in the crisis is because they do it the other way around. They spend too much time focusing on trying to charge forward, but they never focus enough time doing the conservation and calibration. The right way to do it is that if you do it this way, if you notice how the syllabus we have planned it out, is that 90% of the time you are actually spending more on calibrating and conserve. So today a big portion of it is in conservation, right? And after you do that, whether you like it or don't like it, opportunities will fly by you. So I can relate to what Suyan was saying just now. When the opportunity fly by you, then you really need to grab it already. When you hesitate, then you fly past, right? Then you miss an opportunity, like how I missed one of the opportunity, the share which just a month ago was 140 in our hidden gem system. Then within a month it went up to 190, right? So I'm going to share with you more on that. So I want to share today, I want to start today with a story. So this is the, I would say, the glamour picture that I had in 2019. This was our first pitching private crowdfunding session in Common Ground. As much as people always see us being very glamorous as an entrepreneur, right? But actually 6 months before this, I was at the bottom of my career. So I want to share with you a story to start off the conservation process. Is that okay? So 6 months before, I actually remember I was actually sharing with you how I got into the 16th property. That was the start of the second crisis. So eventually, right, how it started the crisis is because we went into a JV and there were 8 people. We were actually doing a lot of sharing of installment and we get rental to pay. So at the highest point of time, we were having to commit to pay 30,000 per month. After managing all the rental, there was still about 10,000 that we need to contribute. So if 10,000 divided by 8, actually it's not a lot, right? But actually, what happened was that out of the 8%, in 2015, it dropped to just 4%. Basically, 4% walked out, citing financial problems, citing bad business, because at the time it's a GST era. So out of the 4%, 3% only can contribute. And can you imagine like 3% contributing my portion, because thinking that, being the biggest shareholder, you'll be more secure. But actually not, no. When the 4% walk away, being the biggest shareholder, you want to protect your interests, you eventually have to do the work as well. So can you imagine like, having my financial planning practice, having to manage the property, and then also trying to manage the business? Because when that happened, I thought the natural thing to do is to generate more revenue, and the natural thing to do is to go into business. Because if you go back to employment, it's not that employment cannot generate that kind of income, but normally it's either a sales position or is it maybe at the top of the hierarchy. So naturally we went into business, and one thing led to another, because if you know business like Christopher, every 10 business, for every 10 business, first there will be 80% that will fail in the first 5 years. And the second 5 years, the remaining 20%, another 80% will fail. So what I want to share is basically the time I was so short of cash, right? And you know, Sunny, you were talking about having to get the kids to eat healthily. So the time, because so short of cash, we basically were just trying to eat healthily. So the most healthy, most affordable type of food will be chapan lah. You know, you eat the economy rice and the two vegetables and one. But the kids hate it lah because it's so boring lah. So one fine day, when I went to this mixed rice store, basically I started to pack for 4%, and you know, roughly it's about 30 ringgit for 4 or 5%. And it didn't dawn on me that I ran out of money, you know, because the fact that, you know, in your ATM, you also don't bother to check, your wallet also don't bother to check. So at a point of time, why I say it was the worst period is because imagine you were standing in front of the line and there were so many people queuing up and the boss said, hey, 30 ringgit and you only have 10 ringgit left in the wallet. So I froze and then I look at my kids, then I look at the line, wow, jialat, then I was sweating, you know, inside. So thankfully, suddenly the light bulb came up. I ran all the way to the car. You know how we have those coin boxes in the car? I had this habit last time, you know, whatever loose change, I would just put. Now, as I was counting, I brought the whole coin box to the front of the counter. I was like counting. I was just hoping that there's enough 20 ringgit. And luckily, there was. Right? So, can you imagine the humiliation and the fact that no person in their right mind should go through that kind of pain. You know? To me, it's a pain because why? Here I am as a financial planner. I'm here to actually share and teach people how to grow their finance. But your own finance, you cannot take care of. Right? So from the day onwards, I made a vow that, you know, I'm not going to let my kids suffer. I'm not going to let me go through the same thing. I'm going to let other people who's going through the crisis suffer the same fate. You know? That's why when I look back at this whole syllabus, then I realized that there's something that get me to go on, to survive whatever crisis that I went through is because of this knowledge and this practice that I decided to share this whole thing in May or something in May this year. So basically, why am I telling you that story is because I'm not sure whether you've gone through crisis, but you may not know whether you will go through it. What you want to do is to be equipped should you go through it one day, right? So this picture really shows a lot because at the point of 2015 when we start having the crisis, of course the time didn't hit me, but you could basically feel like how you're walking in this zip road. You don't know how much food or resources that you have in that backpack of yours, and you don't know how long the road is going to be moving forward. Of course, maybe you guys can't really relate to this because you guys are not having not enough money problem. But I just want to go through with you because this same system or practice has actually got me significant result and also got me to go through whatever crisis that I went through, which is Aisha. You went through it already, Sunyan, but I'm going to go a bit deeper today because I'm going to cover the income and expenses part, like how we cover the asset and liability. All right. So Aisha is basically a concept. Whatever I share with you here, as much as I practice it, I want to have what's that word? Anyway. I want to share with you guys that I'm not so smart that I created all this. All these things I've learned along the way and I innovated for the best practice of. So ICEJA basically stands for, this one I actually got it from one of the Prudential agency manager who was also one of the lecturer in the Financial Planning Council. So he basically shared with us this when I first joined Prudential in 2008. And at a point in time, I just left a high-paying income job of 5,000, right? At the point of 2006, 2008 is considered quite high. Then I went into Prudential and the time was 2,000 ringgit. No? So a lot of people say 2,000 ringgit, you want to split into ICEJA. He was teaching us ICEJA. The same question a lot of people who are going through it right now, right? 2,000 ringgit, what to split? So, but I did it anyway. And in fact, I motivated or encourage a lot of the people to do it because you want to do it for the discipline. So ISJA basically stands for investment commitment expenses. And what you want to do is it gives you a benchmark to know how much you're supposed to spend within your means. Because our parents always taught us to spend within our means, but they never tell us what's the means. So until of course there are a lot of different systems from different guru. I think you've heard of T.F. Aker, the 6 jar, and you've heard of financial planning, or so know what, 5 jar, whatever. But I felt that a lot of those, right, is very complicated. So I felt that this one is very simple and very easy to implement. So that's why I started using it for the past 12 years. And again, you went through this. I'm just going to go through very quickly. The benchmark is basically if you're earning 9K, you're supposed to split into one third. That means 1/3 investment jar, 1/3 commitment jar, 1/3 expenses jar. So for Christopher, in case you're wondering, that means you need to invest 3,000. That means you put aside this bucket already, right? And then you basically need to channel it like EPF, unit trust, share, whatever, property. So expenses also the same thing. The moment you spend more than 3,000, then you have to sort of balance it out. And commitment, you're not supposed to overcommit more than 3,000. So it gives me a very good benchmark. And when we look at all the wealthy people, they don't follow this system, but when you put it out into the similar like the dashboard, which I'm going to share with you at the end of today, you see that a lot of them save at least a third one. Women especially are very good savers. They save almost 50%. Yeah. So that's why I want you guys to go through this in a while. For Sun Yan, you've gone through it. No worries. We will just go into the other questions that you may have, right? So let's go a little bit deeper. So just now when I talk about ISJA, right, it's talking about the expenditure part as a whole, right? Let's talk about income first, right? How many types of income are there? I want you guys to just unmute your mind and just start shouting out. 3. How many? What type of income?
And again, active income, passive income, portfolio income.
Wow, what's portfolio income? Maybe you can share with me. No, we all learn from each other, man. I also don't know, seriously.
Come up on my mind. No, portfolio income is money making machine that is from business creator to develop it is additional income one.
Oh, sort of like a cash cow, is it? Like business income lah.
It means that I'm still working because I'm working. Actually, what we are doing is active one. Passive actually investment share passive one. That means I have a business, another business. People work for me. All this income, my portfolio business consider people working for me. All this additional concept of portfolio area. Like basically, a lot of people say I want to set up the college for what? I want to IPO. Increase IPO. IPO people will buy this money, so use money as a public. They do other things on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. But for me, it's very simple lah. It's either active or passive lah. Either you working for it or you don't work for it. All right. But thanks for sharing, Christopher. So the next part is what are the types of active income? Maybe you all can share or shout it out.
Salary, rental, side, your own business.
Very good. Continue. Business, commission.
Commission, yeah.
How
about the payout from the shares?
Dividend.
Dividends? No, those are passive, right? You don't do any.
The dividend is here for passive income.
Passive income. Oh.
So you share dividend. Someone what else? I think this one you're quite familiar as well.
Rental income. Rental.
Yeah.
Interest income, rental income, very good. Someone?
What's gratuity?
Gratuity or what royalty gratuity? Donation people donate you money so income.
So gratuity got two types of gratuity is like pension like that, but gratuity can come in the form of lump sum or can come in the form of regular.
How about donation? Donation also passive income.
It depends. If you ask, that's active law. If you don't ask, that's passive.
It's okay.
Good question, by the way. Okay, so we've done the income part already. Basically, you remember yesterday I was asking you what is asset. Asset is what we own, ma. Then I asked you what is liability. Liability is what we owe, ma. So I want to ask you what is income.
What you earn,
Okay, very good. Then what is expenses?
what you spend on for day to day.
Spend,
Very good. So you've got the 4 categories, the keywords there already. So when you do your financial compass later on, right, then you'll be able to ask yourself the question, then you'll be clearer for you. Okay. Now, I want to go into the expenditure part, but expenditure part here, we actually split it in 3 because we're using iJar. So you actually have the investment jar, the commitment jar, and the expenses jar. I want to go through investment jar. I want to give you some examples first. Is that okay? So in case you're not sure, actually you are already doing that already. It's just that maybe you don't put it in the jar. So ETF savings, besides you do it on your own, then the employer does it for you. If for senior, it will be CPF, right?
Yep.
If you put money aside every month, then you have your unit trust savings, you've got your PRS auto deduction. Actually, there's a lot more, but this is very general, which you normally do, right? So I want to put it here, but it doesn't only limit to this.
Insurance premiums. Okay.
My question about EPF savings. How about if I additional money, I put the money into an EPF additional because active income there's EPF payment. So I put it additional. This is also part of investment I consider.
Yeah, this is part of the investment jar. This is not just talking about investment because a lot of people are always confused when I talk about this part. They thought that insurance premium is an investment. No, actually, I'm just talking about the insurance premium will be categorized as your investment jar when you split your money at the time.
Something that grow or something that returns.
Right. So a lot of people ask me why insurance premium is under this part, because investment jar, as there's a slash here, it's also considered the savings jar, right? So insurance premium is considered an investment saving rather than expenses because there is some form of return, or if should anything happen to you, there's a payout. So even if you look at your asset liability, insurance is categorized as an asset. It's not a liability.
I have one very funny question. How about the Nirvana package that you buy?
Oh, yeah, Nirvana package. Good question. Yeah.
Can sell back, man.
Yeah, you can put it as in your investment savings jar also. You can, because ultimately, you notice here, the ice jar is one of the many systems. So we are here to give you a guideline only, and we're going to give you the definition. So from there, when all these funny question come out, then you have to put it in such a way so that there's a consistency or there's a standard law for our lingo understanding law. So like if there's a return like Nirvana like that, some people will put it in investment.
Yeah.
Some people will put it commitment. You know why? Because they don't intend to sell.
Yeah.
It's like a house that they stay in, my imagine.
it's like a fixed asset.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Any other funnier questions? So the next part actually is talking about the commitment jar. So commitment jar, you're also quite familiar. Can you shout out some of the items in your commitment jar?
Expenses. No, sorry, commitment.
Expensive food.
Okay, maybe I give you the definition first. Commitment jar are normally things which are longer term.
Okay.
Right. So
all my tuition inside commitment.
You put tuition.
Like swimming classes, kids gym classes. Are those commitment?
Okay, let me share with you what I put in my commitment jar, like your car installment, your personal loan installment, your credit card outstanding payment, housing loan installment, and parents allowance. Yeah, so why do we put this type of items? Like I mentioned, number one is normally in the longer term period. Number two, the characteristic of it is that it's harder to change as compared to an expense. So for example, like eat, you can change it every month. You can control it easier than if it's a loan, right? So when you say like the children tuition, all those things, if you ask me, I would suggest you to put it into the expenses jar, because those are the things that it can change on a yearly basis.
Okay, then my expenses just bocho already.
Bocho, yeah. It's normally like that, but don't worry, later I'll share with you how to compile the thing. I just want to highlight one particular very important part, which is this one. Can you see the credit card outstanding payment here?
Yep.
This one, a lot of people always get confused. You know why? Because assuming you are actually spending 5,000 a month expenditure, and then you in your expenses jar, but you use a lot of it into credit card. Okay, if you pay 5,000 every month to clear off the credit card, it is not considered an outstanding payment. It's only here outstanding payment is talking about. Let's say you have a spending of 5,000, but you have an owing of 2,000. Okay, then you clear the 5,000, but you pay 200 ringgit to service the 2,000, so that after 10 months you pay it off. So that 200 ringgit goes into this commitment jar, because it's actually servicing the loan in the credit card. Can you follow? No?
I have questions. I want to make clear. Just now is about personal loan investment and also the house loan investment. Can I consider it's a part under the fixed expenses? Like food is a variable expenses. Because I want to understand your commitment and then the expenses. Like some cash payment installment, is it fixed expenses? Or you said it's a commitment? Commitment is only fixed.
Can you repeat the question? I don't really understand your question. Can you repeat again? Sorry.
Your car installment is a commitment. Can I say that car installment is a fixed expenses?
Oh, you're trying to map it to the accounting words, is it?
No, because I also have doing some try to make clear.
So yeah, actually, I understand where you're coming from, because last time when I did that in the normal income and expenses statement, right? Because they have the income, then you got the fixed expenses, variable expenses.
Yes.
I think you're talking about that, lah. So
yes.
now I just scrap everything away.
Okay. Because
I my own category.
I'm doing it now. I just want to alignment. So I want to make clear. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why over here, right? I don't really care whether it's fixed or variable. I just put it in such a way because it's a different way of looking at it, lah. So you just bear with me first and see whether this will help you better, or if you don't find it better, then you can continue to use your one, because I used to do that, but I cannot get anything out of it, lah. So that's why I thought this is something useful which I've been using for the past 12 years.
I did a bit of creative accounting when I was working. So basically, right, of course, nowadays, car, you also can go down the leasing rental model, right, whereby, let's say you go to a leasing company, right, tomorrow you want to return the car, you can return the car and stop paying the installment. I actually categorize that as more of a operational expense.
Yeah, and, so under that, I will also put it as an expenses jar.
But if I own the car is under my name, I'm paying installment, I need to sell it, then I will make it more of like a long-term commitment.
Yeah, so that way, that's why I will put it under commitment jar. So that's why you have to look at your car, if it's a lease car, which right now a lot of car companies are going into, then you basically don't need to put in the commitment jar, you can put it in the expenses jar. All right, good question.
Grab car drivers, they're all leasing cars, right? They don't buy.
In fact, if you're talking about business account, right, that one is actually it will not appear in your balance sheet, that one will just appear in your P&L.
Yeah, as OPEX.
Yeah, and then they don't even have to calculate depreciation, which is looks better on your books.
Yep.
Right. All right, good question. Next, so let's go to the last jar, which is the expenses jar. And expenses jar, I think you're very familiar. Why don't you shout it out?
It's a variable one. This one expenses is a variable.
How about like when the company deduct money for like your SOXO and or deduct contribution to like some zakat and stuff like that?
Yeah, that one we consider it as expenses jar. Can you see here this? Can you see this one here? Income tax payment.
Okay, yeah.
So income tax payment, because as an employee in Malaysia, you have this PCB, ma. I think Singapore also have the same thing also.
Yeah, but they charged me a $3 to contribute to some Chinese fund from Chinese.
It's so weird. Huh?
Yeah, but $3, so no complaint. But then imagine like if there's 2 million people paying for that, right? That's like 6 million a month, quite a lot.
Yeah. So yeah. So you got your answer already for your income tax, also and EIS also we put it under here lah, because it's not a lot of money.
Babysitter, all those also expenses, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And how about like the auto deduction? How about donations, expenses also?
Donation we put it under commitment.
Okay.
Although it's arguable lah, you know, but let's just standardize the same lingo. So for our community, everybody has the same understanding.
Okay.
Because later when you look at the financial compass, then you notice where this goes to.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, Suyan?
No.
Okay. Next. Okay, this is the part where I continue the case study from yesterday, but we're going to add the complexity together with the income and expenses, all right? So the first one, I give you an example first, so then later you do the harder one.
Oh, wow.
So the bungalow that we bought yesterday, remember, the 2 million one?
Yeah.
Then we took a loan of 1.8 million, and we use it for our own stay. And installment is 12,000. So I want to show you how it looks like in your personal statement, as well as your income and expenses statement. So the bungalow yesterday we went through is very straightforward. And then in terms of your income statement, because there's no income in the bungalow, right? So there's only the expenditure, which if you were to rank it between ICE, it should fall under this part. Can you follow? I think this one quite straightforward. Okay. So let's move on to the next. Remember the car that I bought yesterday?
Yeah.
The 150,000 car. So also again, loan 135,000 and it's also own use. Installment is 1,008. So based on the same thing, how will it look like? Which jar will it be?
Okay. Car installment would be commitment, right?
Yep. Very good. Now the third scenario, remember yesterday instead of buying the bungalow, then we took the 1 million buy the landed, then we took the 1 million buy the condo, and then we used a 90% loan. We decided to rent out the condo and we're generating a 5,000 per month, right? And then the installment for the condo as well as the landed is also 6,000. All right. I want you to shout it out. How does the income statement look like? Because yesterday you went through this one already, man.
Yes.
So income should be 5, right? Okay. Yeah, this one I should just. So can you see the condo, because it's for investment, it should be in the investment jar.
Yeah. And
the landed, because you're staying, is actually in the commitment jar. Can you follow? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times, Christopher, like us, when we buy property, right, we keep thinking that it's a commitment, then we put that in the commitment jar. Actually, a commitment jar, so when I started to actually categorize it correctly, then a lot of people don't feel so stressed. And then in that way, it's also good because then you're utilizing your investment jar appropriately. So this is the part where I want you to just, because yesterday you went through the checklist already, right? You have transferred all the asset and liability. Now you just need to transfer all the income and expenses into this income and expenses sheet, right? So you have the income here, put whatever income, and then the expenses, you have your investment jar, commitment jar, and expenses jar. So I think, Suyan, you've done it already, right? So no worries.
Not on this part. I just I didn't categorize it. I just or maybe I have.
Okay, together. Okay, no worries. Then maybe I just give you some time to do it, 3 minutes, and I'll go on to the next part, lor.
Okay.
Christopher, do you do your pre-work already? So then you take the time to do it right now, lor.
Okay. I look at this. I have the same format already.
You have, okay, very good. So at the end of this exercise, what I want you to share with everyone is whether are you over invest, overspend, or over commit.
Okay.
Very bad result.
Oh, actually not this part lah. This part is just to put it in only. The next part is the one that is whether it's over invest, overspend, or over commit.
I got to this point, so I can share my results if you want.
Sure.
So I think investment I'm below by 30%. Commitment also I'm below by 26%. But expenses I'm above by 54%.
When you say 54%, that means I'm assuming that
of that one
let's say
third.
investment 33%. So you're saying that you're down by 26, is it?
So let's say if it was that, if that bucket was 3,000 ringgit, right? So I'm actually using 4,005.
Oh, over invest.
No, not investment, but expense over.
Expenses over.
Yeah. So let's say, if for example, if this is 3,000 ringgit every bucket, right? So my expenses is 4,005. And my investment is supposed to be 3,000, right? It's actually 30% down, so it's 2,001. And then my commitment is also 3,000, right? But I'm 26%, so three quarter of it. So that's how much? 750 times 3, 2,001, 2,250 out of 3,000.
So if I understand you correctly, that means you overspend lah. You didn't over invest and over commit lah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's give some time for Christopher to do it first, right? And then Christopher, you're doing this part, right?
I'm doing the income. The income is said the annum per annum for monthly.
This one you do it monthly.
Monthly. Okay.
So like this one, let me give you an example. Like this guy, right? His income is 8,008, right? So what he do is he divide by 3, man. So what you do is that you have to list out the monthly income, then you list out the monthly investment, monthly commitment, and monthly expenses. Just divide by 12 lah. If some of it is actually yearly or quarterly or half yearly, just for the sake of this exercise.
And also for me, I think okay, can. This doesn't tie to asset yet, right? Because let's say some of the assets I excluded because it's not under my name, but of course the commitment is there.
While Christopher is filling up that part, let me just go through with you first, Sunyan, because yours, if you're saying you're overspent, that means, are you saying that, let's say the 33% here, because let's say if it's 9,000 divided by 3 is 33% here, man. So when you say you spend 2,006
for investment, yeah. Let's say if investment is 2,250 out of 3,000.
Oh, you count the percentage based on the 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were counting the percentage based on your income.
Oh no. I can do that as well. No.
No, actually, I don't. I just want to clarify that only. But more importantly, is you know exactly where you're over, right? Yep. So we wait for Christopher, then we will go through when it's over. Then how do we actually overcome it and vice versa.
Okay.
So basically, you do this part as well. If you're done already, you just transfer the numbers here, right? And then what happens is that these numbers here, divided by 3, this is the what each jar is supposed to be the benchmark. So for example, like the commitment one, let's say something like this.
Okay.
So if the commitment amount is 6,007, then you take 2009, 6,007 will be here, 2009 will be here. So take 2009 minus 6,007, this is the positive or negative number.
Okay. I don't have this in this format because I put it into an Excel file. So, but it's the same. I have those. So I just need to label them BC, ABC. So at least I don't mix up.
Yeah, can. And you are clear. I mean, this whole exercise is so that you are clear where you are over and where you're under and how do we work on them.
So A is actually after divided by 3, right?
All right.
So this is A. And then B is what I'm spending currently in this bucket.
Right.
And then C is the delta of A minus B.
Yep.
Oh, A, B, C, no wonder.
Do you have this workbook or not in the first place?
Yep.
You know you can download this workbook from the our J Academy. Right?
But I have to print out.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I haven't printed anything for many years.
We're working on having the platform so that you can key in the system straight.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, the percentage I mentioned just now was the percentage of C.
I see.
Yeah. C, the percentage of C over A.
C over A.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Let's just keep it simple. Actually, I don't. I just want to know whether you're over or under.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because later when you go into the financial compass, I'll introduce you other percentage, which I don't want you to be confused.
Okay. So from the jar ICE, right? So it's under, over.
Under, over. Let me know if you're done this part, Christopher, or if you need any help.
I complete that one, the income only investment and commitment expenses. Now I'm doing the current income, that one, the calculation. The C.
This part, is it?
This part, correct.
This part I explained to you. Do you have you heard me sharing this part before?
Which one? This one?
Yeah. Okay, let me share with you. Let me share with you how to do this part, because I want you to understand it so that you don't get confused, so that you can fill in this part, right? So this guy actually came to me, and the time when we were trying to turn him around his 150,000 debt, right? His salary was 8,008. So when we did for him the ice jar, so remember you're supposed to divide by 3 to get the benchmark. So he's supposed to save 2009, supposed to commit 2009, and then supposed to spend 2009. Okay, but after he did this part, he put this like what you put in already. He found that he actually is committing 6,007 mainly because of his credit card and personal loan. Okay, and then he's spending about 3,002, and he only invests 1,034. So from here, we'll be able to find out whether he's over or under, because when you use this one, can you see this one is over commit, then this is overspend? Can you follow? So basically, how do you know how much over commitment he has? Is you take 6,007 minus 2,009. That means he's over committed by about 3,008. Okay. And then for the expenses one, you know he's overspent because you take 3,002 minus 2,009 is about overspent about 300 ringgit. Correct? Not? And last but not least, he underinvest because he's supposed to invest 2,009, but he only invests 1,034. Can you follow? No?
Can I recap, Kaho? The meaning that this salary one 8,850 divide 3 is get the bar level, the standard bar level. So whatever the commitment is actually above, that means it's a considered overvalue already.
Overcommit.
Overcommit. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I want you to do the same thing for yourself because I want you to find out for yourself whether you overcommit, overspend, or overinvest by using this same workbook law.
Okay.
Yeah, Christopher, this is gross salary. Not net.
Not net one.
Gross.
Gross of people. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay. Oh, I over investment. Everything is under commitment, under expenses, under that one investment over.
Okay, congratulations. You're like me. That must be the property already.
Property and now share that together.
Okay, so you're done already. So just to recap, Sunya is overspend, underinvest, and undercommit. Christopher is overinvest, underspend, and undercommit. So now the question here is this. Because just as Sunya asked, jialat or overspend, then what should I do? Actually, the thing that you must focus on is that when you overspend, you need to undercommit. If you overcommit, you need to underspend because we need to have this.
Yeah.
This is our bullet for us to be able to move forward. Yeah. Can you see like this guy, when he overcommit and overspend, this one is disaster because he's basically taking from his investment and savings jar. Later, I'll share with you why we shouldn't take it from our investment jar. Okay. So if you look at it, Sun Yan, can you see not? Basically, you got 33% plus 33 here is 66. So as long as your expenses and commitment don't surpass 66, you're okay already.
It's 75. No?
Even you take into consideration your commitment jar.
Yeah, so expenses is about 51%, commitment is 24%.
So you got to work on that, have to come down to 66.
Okay.
Yeah. So
up the investment.
No, because right now you're drawing from an investment jar.
Yeah.
75, you're drawing about 9%. And that's, of course, if provided your investment jar, you actually actively invest. But most of the people, what they do is that in the investment jar will sit there in the account. Sleeping.
Yeah, waiting for the right time to buy something. So it's also cash in hand rather than really growing.
Yeah. So for Christopher, if over-invest, know how?
Let's invest.
It's a good
over-invest. I mean, to a certain extent, it's a good thing. So I always feel that if you overcommit or overspend, it's a bigger problem than you overinvest. But not to the level like me, I'm not sure how bad Christopher is, because at the point of when I did my this exercise, Aisha, I was over investing a lot. I think something like just now I was sharing with you, if I have a negative 5,000 per month, that whole negative 5,000 is actually the investment jar. So if you over invest to that extent, that is not good. Agreed? So Christopher, your overall cash flow, you got surplus or not?
Plus.
Or plus, okay lah. Then you over invest. That means you're taking from either your commitment or your expenses jar lah. Then that's fine. But if the moment when you see somebody having a deficit because of over investment, then we have to cut the.
Yeah, understand.
We have to cut here already.
Because I calculate monthly. Last time I did it. I remember because property is on switch share. Then I came back a little bit back. So positive one. This year
Awesome.
only. This year only.
So I want to give you 3 minutes because we've finished the ice jar, and do share with me after you write down your diamonds. What is the one thing that you learned, and also what we do differently?